right, and we did have the Election Commission meeting this evening at 5 o'clock, as was posted. The clerk's office once again went through a very thorough demonstration and testing of the voting machines that we have. We did have one resident that attended, but she did mention that she had seen the 2022 PBS where Clerk Bauer's team went through and did a complete run through. So if you missed the commission meeting this evening, you can go back and find that PBS special, because the exact procedure that we do here in the city of Taylor, every single clerk and municipality throughout the state of Michigan does that same thing. And just want, when you and your staff are always being just impeccable in terms of how you present it, whether or not there's one person there, or multiple people or none, make certain that everything is explained fully. So thank you.
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
So I looked at the city council candidate list that we had from previously, and I know names were added after that, but I can't seem to find the Christian Armstrong resume or email. If our secretary could send that to me at your convenience, I'd appreciate it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. If you're saying it is, I just can't see it. Oh, thanks.
Chairman.
Councilwoman.
I just have one item, kind of something personal. So October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and today is actually Pregnancy and Infant Loss Day, October 15th, so I just felt compelled to say something about that, a personal experience. I had an early miscarriage 21 years ago and lost my daughter full-term 19 years ago, and founded an organization, Metro Detroit Share. We provide services for families. We just recently held our 16th Walk of Remembrance and Hope at Heritage Park on October 6th, I believe it was. We had about 420 people come out, so it was a really nice event. And just know that if you've been affected by it, there's support out there, and I'm happy to help anybody who needs that, or if you spread the information that a lot of times losses are not supported very well. People don't feel the right to grieve or the ability to, and you shouldn't feel that way. That's all.
Thank you for.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. It's very personal, but just thank you.
Thank you.
Any further open business from the council?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Mayor.
I forgot a couple things actually. So today earlier, I don't know if anybody's seen, but Chick-fil-A did have their official ribbon cutting today. They do open on Thursday. But I just want to give a shout out to a couple departments, planning, especially building, and actually Mr. Bazura as well. There was a lot of obstacles with the opening of Chick-fil-A. I know some people are very happy and some people not necessarily happy that they're here, but at the end of the day, people get to choose whether they go or not. I will say it was a beautiful facility, very well ran. The owners are a young couple that are very excited, and I'm very excited for them. So, but there was something that Jordan from Allrig, the builders of the facility, he said something to me today that really made me proud. And he said that, Mr. Mayor, because I said, I really appreciate you guys sticking through this. With that drain being right behind that building, it created so many obstacles with permitting and everything. And I said, I really appreciate you guys sticking through this, because I really thought it was going to fall apart many times. And he said, Mr. Mayor, I've worked with a lot of different communities and doing a lot of different buildings, especially with Chick-fil-A. If every city was like working with Taylor, my life would be so much easier. It was an absolute pleasure, and that really made me feel good. So I know planning and building, and even, like I said, Mr. Bazura was on the phone many times working with the county, and Tim Keys as well. A lot of people really did a lot of extra above to get this and make it happen. So I'm really proud. Little Daddy's was a huge part of our city for many years, but that building was falling apart and looking dilapidated. And that's a nice building looking over there. And I think it's going to increase that area over there and the mall as well. So I'm really happy with everything over there. So I just wanted to point that out. And another thing I want to talk about is we had a major fire over in the apartments in the ponds. I want to give a huge shout out to our fire department. And I want to touch on something too, kind of like Angie, something personal. I just want to remind everybody it's that time of year where furnaces are kicking on and everything and stuff. So please remember to change your batteries and your smoke alarms. That's something very important. Believe me, it affected me and my family. It'll be 40 years next month. So, you know, I try to tell everybody, you know, as soon as those leaves start to turn, or when you change the clocks back, you know, think about changing those batteries and those smoke alarms. And I was very, even though it was a, you know, horrible incident, when I got over to those apartments in the ponds, I was very happy to see our firefighters just on top of it. And they had everything pretty much, but it made me proud to hear the beeping of those fire alarms going off in those apartments, knowing that they probably saved some lives. And that really made me feel good. And to Will over at McKinley Properties and his team got there so quick and assisting those families and finding them places to stay and doing everything, being a great partner. And, you know, so just remember to change those batteries, because on the same night, a person that a lot of us all know actually had a fire the same night in their garage, you know, and burnt their, you know, it was, seemed like it was a fire from batteries that they were charging for a leaf blower or something. So keep in mind, don't necessarily keep those in and on all the time. So just everybody keep in mind, it's that time of year, even though it can happen at any time, but keep those batteries changed regularly and those smoke alarms, because they can definitely save a life.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, is there any open business from the audience?
Mr. Chairman, can I real quick give a plug while we're getting our open business? Goodfellows 5K link is active, so if anyone would like to participate in that, it is during Winterfest. It is so much fun, and watching the kids too. There's a kids run, and it's just a great day. And then Goodfellows app, if you need assistance, is also available and active. So those are my 2 plugs for Goodfellows.
Thank you. Please come forward.
Good evening, City Council. Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I didn't get the opportunity to come last week, or your last meeting on October the 1st, but my neighbor did get a chance to come down here. And I want to address the City Council regarding this issue. One, I'm not running a salvage yard out of my home. My name is John Curcio. I live at 5913 Polk Street in Taylor, Michigan. This gentleman saying this garbage is an outright lie. Saying that I have 3 trailers is an outright lie. I have 2 trailers, a little 3x6 and a little 4x8 trailer that I have. Okay, I have 2 white tents in my backyard. Yes, I do have that. According to what I understand, they're perfectly legal in the city of Taylor, according to what the judge said when he visited my house. He said they're perfectly legal to take my stuff and put it inside the tents so you can't see it. I did exactly what he told me to do. There was a white tent in the front yard over my driveway because the neighbor's tree dripping sap all over my vehicle, ruining my vehicle. He said, you can't have it there. I said, well, we need to find out whose house is this. It's an LLC rental house. Half of the houses in that neighborhood hide behind LLC. You don't know who the heck owns them. Do any of you own houses in that neighborhood over there? Rental houses? Because we need to get them cleaned up. We do have a rat problem in the city of Taylor. When I bought that house over there, because they burnt down our home in Taylor that we lived for over 50-some years in, and my mother and me didn't have anywhere to stay, and my mother ended up dying in a motel in Monroe because they burnt her house down here in the city of Taylor. And I told that neighbor, you know what? My cameras in the backyard are picking up rats on the cameras. And I went right away down to the DPW, and I got rat poison. And I signed for rat poison. My name. We could FOIA request when I started asking for rat poison. Nothing was in my backyard. The tents weren't there. There's a problem with the rats. There's a problem with the rats in Dearborn Heights. But the reason why we don't sign for the poison anymore, because we know Mr. Curcio will FOIA request those people who signed that for rat poison, and he'll put it on a map of the city of Taylor, and he'll walk in the courthouse in front of the judge and say, we have a rat problem in the city of Taylor, and it's all Mrs. Molnar's problem. She caused all the rats in the whole city. And we have this person picking up rat poison 9 times in a year. It's a city of Taylor problem. What are yous going to do about it? Because I put out poison, I went and got poison. When I see that it's going on, I talked over there to the DPW about it. I filmed them on camera. And guess what? The neighbor's got a big, huge pond in his backyard with all this water to water the rats. Guess who's gonna put a camera out there tonight on a 12-foot ladder to videotape it so that I can come down here and say, here's where your problem comes in. This is where it comes in. Now, what are we going to do about it as taxpayers, as residents of the city of Taylor and the city together to clean up the situation? Because what we're doing now is not working. It's not working. When you tear down the truck stop for
Could I ask you,
Walmart,
could I ask you to wrap up your comments, sir?
and the rats go all over the neighborhood. And Mr. Mayor, I don't know what your comment last week, you said that my name was in your mouth, in my mouth coming out in regards to,
sir.
my only thing coming in regards to ordinance is because they don't enforce the ordinance fairly. We got big, huge motorhomes parked next to the house on Ziegler Street. We have tow trucks parked on Jackson Street, 3 of them in the street on the wrong way every single night. And it's okay.
Sir,
We got pictures.
sir, you are over 4 minutes at this
Thank
point
you
in
very
time.
much for you guys' time. I appreciate it very much. But if they burn down your family house, you'd be a little bit pissed too.
Any further open business from the audience? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn is in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Brandana, supported by Councilwoman Witten. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. The yeses have it, motion carried. This meeting is adjourned at 7:55 PM.